All right, welcome everyone to the Builder Lab. This week we are chatting about shipping something complete every single week, and why I think this is so important, not just for builders but also for marketers. A couple of you were with me at Startplatz for a while. Tristan, for example. Tristan, have you also? I was there for 8 years. Do you see these ghosts? People like that for years are in this co-working space. You never know what they do. Have you seen that? Have you been that?
Indeed, indeed. I'm missing the ghost ship that is no longer in your background as well, Ben.
The ghost ship is over there.
Ah, okay.
It's right there. But isn't that crazy how we can know other founders talking about their thing for months, worst case scenario, years, and you never see shit? Yeah, that is essentially the the essence I want to talk about today with you guys. And all of you can go to this article. We will go through it step by step and answer some poll question. I'm interested to see how long it takes you, for example, to ship. So please open this this link I put into the chat. Which leads you to this page here. You can read this article, you can watch it on YouTube, yeah, and you can listen to it on podcast. But this is the interactive format. Yeah, this is where we can have a chat about this and argue about what I'm proposing here, or how we can make this argument even stronger and get more of us founders to actually get value into the hands of our users. In in the last poll we did, yeah, let me share that as well. Here in the Captain's Insights, we had the Calm Builder funnel, and we asked people like, why is your current customer journey not working as well as you'd like? Lots of people haven't started yet, but excluding that, the next biggest thing is everything feels half finished. And this is also true. This is true for me. This is why I have my check mark here with this poll. I do a lot of things and then they are not completed, so they never get to really work in the hands of my users. I don't get feedback. I cannot improve my product or my funnel. And to me, that is just a sign of like a bigger problem. Yeah, we often have like the big picture in our mind, but it's pretty hard to break it into shippable chunks. Yeah, and this is why I have set up this poll that I would like you guys to participate in. So make a mark. How long does it currently take you from your idea in your head to value in the hand of your user? Does it take a day? Are you a maniac? Yeah. Does it take a week? Like for me, does it take a month? Which is often the case. And then we have those more corporate timelines like quarters and years. For me, I've taken 3 years to get one thing on the website of a big corporate customer. And there was 3 years of pretty consistent effort on getting that done. And this just cannot happen, yeah, to us. So how long does it take for you guys? I'm curious to see the votes coming in. So some of you are saying quarters. Yeah, anyone willing to talk about your scenario? Why does it take a quarter to get it from idea into the hands of your user? Just unmute and then start talking to us. What's holding you back?
I
Love
mean,
it.
I could add something. So for me, it's maybe just 1 month. The thing is, I'm a victim of the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, same.
Talk a lot to customers, build something, but then I say, okay, this could be nice as well. This could be nice as well, and then I have many, many, many. It's not even features. It's some start of a feature, and then I think, okay, I leave it, and then this is before
Yeah,
finishing things, I start the next thing.
yeah. And this is totally fine. in my opinion, as long as you kind of finish one big thing that a user would perceive as additional value that they get from you. It can be totally like, it can be a marketing article or something that goes into the hands of users. Ideally, a feature that you brought to the next level, or an update that you did that has a clear benefit that you can then have communication about on a weekly basis. Anyone else who's having a hard time getting their ideas out into the world? Lots of people here at the quarterly basis.
So in my case, very often I'm working together with industry, or if you think about railway companies, your idea must be challenged to separate several business units internal, and you have workshop for workshop, and you get it takes a while to get all your requirements from all your business units together, just to challenge your idea, and then it's so hard to get all these business units in one table to speak one language, and then you can only go into fulfillment. So this is really hard.
I believe you. It's and I think as founders, we are still often a lot of freer, but we have to fight tooth and nail against our own shiny object syndrome, or our tendency to procrastinate, or for our team and maybe people that we hire to lead our team to put up so much red tape that you can't even publish something in a week. And there were many historic efforts to get that out of the way. But before we go to solutions, let's talk about the consequences. For me, it's mostly that I personally feel like, oh, I'm losing momentum on my project. If I don't feel like I'm shipping on something, on a project, at least once a week something, then I lose the feeling of this project has momentum, and I believe that the customers have a similar feeling. Yeah, I just read, for example, that PostHawk, which is my favorite analytics platform, moved their changelog here. And these are all of the things that they shipped in a given week. And that gives me the absolute trust that I'm on the right platform. I know this thing is shipping. Yeah, they are progressing. I think this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Yeah, in terms of like change logs, style wise, and it gives me the feeling, oh, I don't need Google Analytics anymore. I don't need this. I can trust that this platform is moving at lightning speed and will always satisfy my requirements, or not take long until something new that they come up with gets into my hands, giving me more capability. They give me the feeling of momentum. Something is happening, and that is important on our personal level, that we trust ourselves, but also our users. Have you guys noticed any other good or bad things happening if you don't ship on a weekly basis, before we continue, in your experience? Did Sebastian Donut just join? How awesome is that? Sebastian, show us your beard.
Ja, mein Freund, servus.
Servus. Welcome to the Builder Lab.
Thanks, man.
I'm curious, like Sebastian is a leader of like multiple accelerators that I've been also part of. How long do the teams take from idea in their head to shipping value to the customer?
Yeah, different, but usually it takes 6-7 months to have. Yeah, but there's a lot of there are many things going on, and the most important thing is the mindset, and this validation is a hard process, and many people are afraid of, or they have specific products where they don't reach their customers. And it takes a long time to reach the customers. For example, in a B2B niche, special guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, my friend. It's hard.
It's really hard sometimes. And here we are still talking about the most agile state those companies will ever be in. And it's still like his teams generally have the idea of going literally from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And I think you're moving faster a little bit once you have reached at least like a basic state of your app. You have a clear customer, and then you just need to develop against the requests.
And they're getting faster, Ben. They're getting faster and faster. So it's the initial, threshold that is really hard to overcome for them, not for you all, but for them. But once they manage, they get more and more comfortable with testing and iteration, and it is much quicker then.
Yep. So how do we wrangle this? Yeah, we all know this, that we need to scope down. We need to find a rhythm for us that works. It doesn't always have to be a week. For me, that is a weekly rule. Some companies and organizations feel more comfortable with 2-week cycles, so that there's not too much pressure. But if I can't ship something in my head in a week, I have to scope it down. So the idea of this image is you have so many nice shiny objects here on the back here that you could potentially do, but you need to really focus, you need to process, you need to scope down, you need to commit to one so that you have one great thing that really provides value to your customers in that time frame that you agreed for yourself. So for me, if I can't ship it in a week, I cut it down. I split the user stories up. I say, okay, this part of this bigger idea I can ship in a week, I can put into the hands of the user, but I will force myself as good as possible, to do this. Question: how do you like the art style of this image? Is it something you would like me to continue? Rate it on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being this is the worst, 10 this is awesome, Ben, continue using this art style. I want to get an idea in the chat. 1 to 10. Solid 7 is already in. 8, 9. I'm working on it. I'm working also on an animated version of this style. Let's see where it leads us. Thanks for the feedback. But not that we misunderstand each other. The week is the maximum I allow myself. I don't try to stretch my scope to a week. I try to push as often as I can. When we're using vibe coding tools like Cursor, Cloud Code, Anti-Gravity, we can often ship faster. It's just the rule, dude, do not ship slower than once a week. It's my upper bounds. And the goal is just scope something reasonable, valuable, small, and then ship that fast. And so I force myself to ask this question here, like, what is the smallest complete thing that actually delivers value to my customers? And can I scope that down? I would actually like to share with you my way how I'm scoping this. I don't know if you're familiar with this tool called Linea. It's the pretty version of, what is the developer tool everyone hates? Jira? Yes? Some people love it, but it's usually the GitHub Copilot crowd that needs to use Jira as well. But if you love it, you love it. But this is something very similar called Linea. And you have a typical Kanban board here. You can see what I'm currently working on. I try to scope every project. I manage all of this through the Linea MCP server. So I actually do not write those issues myself. I don't want to waste my time doing too much project management, and the amount of documentation that goes in here would be totally insane if this wasn't done by the AI. So, for example, here this week I already completed the podcast setup where I have issues which are my like little to-do blocks, and they are estimated. Yeah, and I have a rule for myself. I don't want to waste time estimating, so I just trust the estimation of the AI, but I do that consistently with everything. So it's not really about how many hours I use. I just want to see what is kind of the output of the week. Yeah, I can produce, and then you can see this here. Yeah, and this typical burn down chart style where you can see, here I completed 40, 27, 36, 19, and this week I already did 35. And that kind of gives me an idea, how much time did I invest? Did I really put in the effort to actually get that shipped thing out? But the most important thing is when I sit down and decide, this is what I'm going to publish this week. Yeah, and you can see that I do not differentiate between product feature and marketing. My product and marketing brain completely fused. Yeah, we have this funny graph here. Product and growth should have never grown so far apart. I want to fully integrate my product and my marketing brain. This is why our mantra is build, grow, repeat. And so here you can, for example, see this is the stuff I do for my content production cycle. Yeah, I have a very clear cascade, what I prepare, what I do Monday to Sunday. Yeah, and this is all set up by some markdown files in my code base in combination with the linear MCP. Are you interested in seeing that in action? Should I like demo it once? I'm not sure.
Yes, yes. Especially when it comes to your estimations, if I got you right. So there is a KI-based estimations for your tickets.
Yeah.
Awesome. It took me half a year for my last company to do with Jira, with a machine learning approach to make automatic estimations.
Yeah. I call them guesstimations, because that is usually what I get from developers anyways. Yeah, so I'm just trying to be honest about it. And I believe all we need is a consistent system. Yeah, so let me just do that. Yeah, and then at the end, it's just points. I'm not saying that these are really hours. So let me open Cursor. In this case, doesn't matter if you do it with Cloud Code, Cursor, or whatever. I have a docs folder that has a shit ton of context on my company. And for example, I have this weekly content plan where I say, this needs to happen every week. And I set up a rule for working with linear, in which I state like, hey, be my project management coach. Please always, when I do my weekly planning session, read my strategy, my quarterly goals, push back on ideas I have that do not further my larger goals. This is how I want you to set up projects, how to document issues. Here, estimations, just so I show you, you can do a much better job than I. Jens, I'm sure. But I'm essentially just saying, I chose a scale. You can choose t-shirt sizes with linear. You can do anything you like. I do the 1 to 5 points thing. And I wanted to decide on priorities and reflect strategic sequences, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I love to work with the cycles. I wanted to always like put it into sprints. So I get these burn down charts, which is just for my emotional satisfaction of productivity. And since I don't have to do all of the agile theater around it, and this takes 2 minutes, it's not a loss. So let me show you how this works. So let's be real. Let's do the content planning for next week. I have my Notion database where I have my quarterly plans. Oh no, I put that into the AI as well. Let's see how the AI reacts. I try to move everything in here. I want to plan the next week of content with you. Could you please reference which topics would I suggested for next week in our quarterly content planner? And then I want you to create the content week 5 project in Linear. So I usually tag my planning with Linear document in here. Let's see if it finds the rest in here. Let's just see content backlog. Yeah, let's just see if it finds the stuff. Yeah. Ask me anything you need to clarify before executing anything on Linear. All right, so then I go to my settings, check that the Linear MCP server is active, press enter, and have a little chat with AI, ensure that we are on the same track for the project. Here it checks the quarterly project content planner. That's this document here, where I essentially decide, okay, this is like the content rhythm I'm having, and this is what I'm shooting for in Q1, in which week I want to do what. Let's do the Markdown preview. So I'm hoping it's telling me to do something. What is next week? 26 about how signals decide what to work on, not opinions. Clarifying questions, quiz element. Yeah, just make assumptions and please set up the the Linear project with all necessary issues for the week. Yeah, I usually force it to really confirm and challenge with me the very concrete content, and already pre-fills a lot of the issues. But I just want to show you how that's working for me now. Most of the time, I would be using Composer 1 for the Linear workflows because it's just a lot faster. And let's just watch Linear and see what happens. So here's the project board. Let's see, there's the week 5 that showed up. Let's go in. The theme is the pirate pitch. Yeah, which forge fits you? This is week 5. This is awesome. Yeah, this is correct. Every 5th week, I force myself to create a new funnel for my major product. And here it's creating the issues, draft the Captain's Insights article, do weekly planning and outlining, update the pirate pitch event page. And you can see that the estimations are coming here based on what the AI deems in terms of like effort this takes. And since I'm using like a model consistently on that, I kind of trusted that it does a similar estimation. And for me, it's not so relevant because I have to manage a team of 1. Yeah, Jens, just so you know, this is not like for a 30-person team. But isn't this nice? Yeah, here is the poll. It already made some suggestions for the poll content. And all of this is documented and assigned to my cycles. And now I just saw that it actually put it into this week's cycle. And I have to decide now, is this something I'm going to do this week or next week? And actually, it is something I want to do this week. Otherwise, I would have told it like put it into the next week's cycle. So I don't have too much going on. And then it tracks progress here and sees how far I burn things through. And you can now see that today the target scope has increased because I added a lot more issues into that. How do you like this?
It's nice. You've got a nice boss who will sign off all those estimates, I see. You don't have to justify your estimates.
Yeah, I do not have to justify my estimates. Yeah, and I only have to do it for myself. And for me, it's kind of, especially those first 3 quarters months this year, I really commit to focusing more on building than consulting. Yeah, this is why I launched the podcast. This is why I mostly build and try to consult less. And I want to see that. I want to see that I do it. Yeah, and I can see this in pretty clear numbers here and in the progress I feel. So this is my linear thing that I'm doing. Any questions on this here, or maybe a way that you have found out how you break it down into manageable projects that you can ship within a week? Would love to hear it, just in case you have something. Even gives me this pretty nice timeline view, but I mostly hang out on this here and see like, what do I need to do? Issues. And then I just work on whatever is next here. Yeah, and makes sense to me. So tomorrow I know I need to do a recap session from here, from this one. All right, so what if you have something that is bigger than what fits in a week? Yeah, I try to think about it like this. What can I complete this week? I ship it and I try to look at what the hell are my users doing with it, and then I'm expanding on it. So I have a tendency to write a lot of version 1, version 2, version 3. So this is funnel tracking version 1. This was the Builder Forge funnel 1, but you can already see that version 2 is in here. So I break it down. I call it version 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put ideas for that in here. And once this goes into planning stage, I again look at it. Is this realistic? Can I call this version 2? And then I probably open up a version 3 and dump a lot of shit in there. So I'm not keeping myself from having big ideas. I think it's in our nature as entrepreneurs to have big, crazy ideas. But we don't want to end up like those people at Startplatz who, for whatever reason, are hiding in the chambers, and I don't have a clue what the fuck they are doing after 8 years of being there. I survived, I think, 4 to 5 founder generations. They were the lifers at Startplatz who you just knew they are in it for life. That's it. They're going to be entrepreneurs. And then you have the people who are going in and out. Yeah, in and out. And you can just see them cycling. And I don't know, half or a third, I never saw what they were doing, which is super sad. Super, super, super sad. And Sebastian is, who just taught, he was managing the sustainability lab in Stuttgart. And then when you see people who are actually really do good work in the world struggling with that, you really want to push them out of the nest and say like, dude, fly. So this is how I manage if it goes beyond a scope, and like I just see like what can I do this week, and if I look into my calendar and it's total madness here, me exposing my calendar, I make it realistic. I just see like this is what I can do this week, and I scope it down because I do not compromise on this time window. I'm rather compromising on the scope of the idea than compromising on time. I just feel it's important. Do you think this is crazy to think like that, or I will burn out because of that, or is that a reasonable way to progress? What are you thinking about this?
I think iteration is good.
Sorry, I didn't get it, to be honest. Could you repeat the last 3 to 4 sentences?
Is it reasonable to really not compromise on time, but pushing out something every week and making compromises on the scope of what you are pushing out, or am I running just into the next brick wall that you have already discovered and can tell me about? Tristan, you were unmuted. You go ahead first.
I mean, that's the essence of Agile, that you trade off the scope, not the time. Time you can't trade; it's still going to move on without you, but scope can change. So it does make sense that you should be able to stay in a repeated state as long as you're not doing too much. Therefore, you do less till you find that right piece.
Yep.
But I do believe there is a certain amount of it when it is a product that you are trying to build, or a business, that you should still work that in, whatever you want to call it, semesters, campaigns, in something. Because I believe in a time to reflect and a time that you can catch yourself up. There is some sense internally that if you keep going at the same pace, you are not sure whether you are just doing a job and not remembering why you're doing it. So
what's the rhythm?
Have a rhythm. Yeah.
What's your rhythm? You think about what?
A rhythm is good, but not. It can't just be a tone. It's better.
Have you observed a rhythm that is healthy for you?
I think quarters. I mean, I think quarters are good, but you tend to have like different horizons. I think it's good to have your quarter, your year, your 5-year, and keep reflecting on those different pieces. But I think quarters is still about as far as I can usually think. But you probably want to be able to stretch yourself a little bit further than that. Yeah.
I interestingly also do the quarter thing. Yeah, another key document. No, that's not the one. Is it? It is. It is the correct one. I didn't update it yet. I think in quarters as 13 weeks with 12 weeks of really trying to output, and I usually take Christina or in the past the team somewhere else in the 13th week, and we take time to reflect. I was super surprised when I found out that a quarter is 13 weeks. It made so much sense. I don't know, I read the book Traction, not the Gabriel Weinberg, but the Guido one. And I was like, shit, he's right, 13 weeks. 12 to push, 1 to reflect. That works for me. I'm interested in, has anybody made other experiences, longer or shorter time frame? Should we not wait that long anymore? Or is the quarter the thing, the big unit, and the week the smallest sensible unit? Any other experiences on that? Tim, did you just join? He joined in the beginning, and he was out again. I think he's out again. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Good old Zoom issues. Okay, guys. Then let's continue. With every Captain's Insight, I try to provide you with 7 prompts for 7 days that help you to bring this closer to you. But these you shouldn't do in 7 days. Yeah, it's more like use them chop at the beginning or the end of the week to scope out your next week. This is completely freely accessible. If you see a little unlock button, you have to log in with Google or something here, and then this is unlocked. Let me put it in the chat again. And I'm really curious, like how this is working for you after maybe you have implemented. I'm looking always forward to your feedback, like write me in an email or the WhatsApp group. But what I would recommend is just copy pasting those prompts and customizing them into your favorite GPT of your choice. Which leads me to the next question for the chat. What is at the moment your default chat GPT alternative, or like what are you spending most of the time in? Is it Gemini? Is it Grok? What is it? Let me know in the chat. What is your primary chat thing? Ooh, interesting. Somebody is primarily on Perplexity. Why? Because Perplexity now gives you the model switcher, right? And you can just pick whichever model you like. I thought that was a pretty genius move. Yeah. He says he has all models. I thought that was a really, really good move. So I live in a project called Pirate Skills. Pirate Skills Treasury is fun. It has all of the difficult German taxation rules, and I can and law text, so I can just ask it all of my stuff for accounting. Christina works a lot with it, but this one has a lot of the context of what is my content and storytelling framework, what is my current strategy, what is Pirate Skills, what are my current bottlenecks, what are my QR goals, OKR goals, and so I can throw these prompts in here and describe my project that I currently want to scope. And for example, I want to work on a new version of the Captain. The Captain is our chat tool, which also, interesting enough, the main idea, like also what Perplexity did, was it allowed you to switch the model, to use whichever model you like. Yeah, and to statically store context about your company in a more convenient way. Yeah, that was my product idea. But after some initial feedback, I found, okay, this is good, but even I tend to go back to Claude and to ChatGPT because of features like deep research and image generation and on and on and on. Yeah. So what I want to build is a completely interactive learning experience. So if you go into like a learning environment like the Builder Codex, you have the Captain here on the side. It stores your project context, but you can also get absolute interactive guidance through whatever you read and experience here. And I want to turn like education more into a SaaS experience. Yeah, and that is a huge mess in my mind, and I need to scope it down and find something that ships. So it's really helpful to start a little discussion, to give the idea like this is the target, and then to please yourself by saying this would be perfect and it would be complete if it had this and this and that and could do this, blah 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 blah. Just so you get it out of your system. Yeah, so in the next step, you can say, okay, but if you had to cut the scope to fit into the time frame I have for next week, what is a must-have, what is a can-have, how many hours do I have? And it helped me break it down. And then I build this core, I ship it, I watch what my users are doing. I most often ask them, or I observe them on my analytics platform of choice, which is at the moment Post Hoc. Yeah. And here I see people do stuff. Let's open something that is interesting. Projects, dashboards, here. Just, this was my link in the bio tracker, a little feature that I built for some social experiences, or the Builder Codex funnel, yeah, where I, just for fun, this is the Builder Codex. This is a completely free resource. If you know, if you know how to navigate the Pirate Skills navigation, you go to build, go to the Codex, and there it is. But I did an experiment. What happens if I do a little landing page in front? Would people just sign up for free and I get their contact data? Turned out they absolutely would. Yeah, I think I'm down to like €3 per lead on that for a completely free accessible resource, but people get more guidance. I explain to them what that is. I have a little welcome video, but of course I pitch them my product, which is like the Builder Forge, which is a 6-week learn to vibe code program. Yeah. Tim Klein is still trying to join. If you're watching this, Tim, my heart is with you. Oh, he made it. He made it. Welcome, Tim.
Hey.
Hi. I thought you had trouble joining. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ship it, I observe the people, what they are doing, and then I collect my idea for expansion in V2, V3, V4. Yeah, and I hope this also helps you to scope it down. You don't need to use an AI to do that. Use your brain instead if you prefer that. I prefer the hybrid approach, brain AI hybrid, that gets the best outcomes in my cases. But I'm also looking on your end. Have you found good, reliable methods that are not overly complicated to reliably scope down and get yourself away from shiny object syndrome, building something too big? What has worked in your experience as well? Please share. In the meanwhile, I read. Tristan puts it in Markdown. What is an MD file? I got it. That was an explanation. Yeah. Good question. I needed to learn what is a Markdown file as well when I started this stuff, but it's what developers love for documentation, and it literally just happened to be what an AI can very well comprehend and kind of automatically produce if you ask it to document something. That just surfaced, and it usually has a beautiful preview that no developer would ever look at. They prefer looking at the ugly version. Is that correct, Tristan?
My Obsidian, I write on my Obsidian notes like this, but I hardly ever flip it over. Just change the CSS so it styles it like that.
and for me, it's like only tables that get me to activate the preview mode. Yeah, otherwise I just got used to, one hashtag is my H1. Got it. Yeah. And AI just very easily gets it. Okay, next question. Why Post Hoc and not Google Analytics from BB? BB, you have good questions. Do you want to activate your camera or your microphone? Talk to us. I don't know who you are, but I'd like to get to know you. So, Post Hoc. Google Analytics lost my trust when moving from Classic to Google Analytics 4. Analytics is my deepest skill, out of all. And my customers just hated it so much. Nobody could use it anymore. And so everyone moved to just getting the data in Google Analytics and then showing them in Data Studio. Yeah. then vibe coding came around, and it was easier for me to build dashboards based on my own database as a non-developer. Like I'm a marketer, I studied psychology. Yeah. It became easier to build dashboards on my own live production database than actually using anything like Google Analytics. But then I still wanted to have something for correct attribution tracking, and I didn't want to reproduce a complete analytics suite. I also wanted features like session replay. Yeah, so you can see what people are doing on the page, how they're interacting on different devices. And I can see that 3 people are being actively recorded right now. And this is a beautiful feature I used to use different tools for, or A/B testing. I have my A/B tests running on here, and the beauty of post hoc is that all of the event tracking I can do with cursor. All of the analysis I can do with the post hoc MCP. So just to give you an example, it feels like Google Analytics, but it's 2026. Yeah. So let's open post hoc analytics here, and now I can talk it. Hey, could you please break down the most important traffic sources for the last 7 days and the top 5 landing pages on our website? And I could not, in the past, I wouldn't have had the time to implement Google Analytics in such a deep way than I can do, like in 30 minutes of talking to an AI with post hoc. Once I moved away from WordPress, there was actually no more reason. I didn't need any plugins anymore. Yeah, everything is on Next.js. You can use whatever you like. But this was incredibly freeing. Yeah. For me. So here you see, you can ask it very involved things. I could ask about the complete conversion funnel from traffic source to lead generation, what features they used and unlocked, and when they became a customer, and what the average revenue per customer is, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And here you can see most people came direct, Google, Insta, and then what was the most popular things? It's today's lab. Look how semantically correct it interpreted the data. This is the most visited page in the last 7 days because I promoted it naturally. And then it was the codex and the homepage, and then it moves down. Yeah, that's why post hoc. Anyone else using post hoc? I'm curious. Or what analytics tool do you currently use? Let us know in the chat. I'm very curious to see. No, but I will give it a go. Yeah, and of course, another reason is beside their amazing sense of design, it's actually it's the free tier. You have to hit 1 million users, 1 million events per month. You have 5,000 session recordings included. You have 1 million feature flags, which are the access point for A/B test experiments. It's insane. I sync my PostgreSDB in parts to it. Yeah, so it has a clearer understanding of the user journey within my product, pirateskills.com. I sync my Stripe to it. And what is really expensive normally is syncing your ads platform data. Normally you would have to pay like $100 a month for something like Supermetrics. This is just included in post hoc. And it's insanely connected. Here, for example, marketing analytics, and then you literally see what I spent the last 7 days. Yeah, it's just loaded. And you see, Ben sent $235. He got this kind of clicks for that. He got so many conversions. Sign up event tracking is not working correctly yet, and purchase tracking, but up to the reported conversions, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. And that would cost me $100 normally, and I'm still on the free tier. I'm nowhere near the usage limit. Okay, we use it at work. It's also fun with extra elements. Yeah. Post-tech it's really fun. They have a great sense of humor as well. They put the little hedgehog everywhere. It's really cool. Okay, it's 18:52. Anything you guys would like to discuss before I wrap us up? Yeah, while we are here, do you have questions for the communities? Polls you want to make? Use this platform. Do you have something to pitch, a product or something that you're launching? I can pitch Tim Klein's podcast. Yeah. Produktwerker. Wonderful podcast and team to work with. So let me put that in the chat.
Use the /podcast. Yes, this one. As there is a, it's all in German, of course, but there's a search for some, yeah.
So you can type in like Ben Sufiani. It might work.
It's slow, but it's working.
Yeah. Tim and I, we met on the weekend on Saturday at like a plant store, like a big gardening store. And I told him that I'm planning to launch my own podcast. So while this is loading, you can go also to piratesgoods.com.
Seems to be broken, yeah. And you did it today, right?
I fucking did it. I did it yesterday. I announced it today.
Congrats.
Look at this. It's I'm live. This was so unexpected. Like after I did the first 3 Captain's Insights, I thought like, boom, this would be a decent podcast. And then I started to interview somebody. I interviewed the head of growth from SaaS Group, Tim Schumacher's company, because I wanted to get her non-developer perspective on how to get into the vibe coding stuff and using that for marketing as well. And then I was like, damn, there was so much fun talking to Tim, and then from that part of the chair, and then talking to Anna. So I'll be publishing Mondays, every Monday. But highly recommend Produktwerker. Any other recommendations, things you want to share in the chat that would be helpful for the community? Would really appreciate any resource available. You guys also know that we got this crazy WhatsApp group, where all of the vibe coders unite. Let me share the invite link to that as well. If you want to talk, you will never miss a model launch ever in here. I have this group muted myself, so it's not annoying. Go for it. So BB is suggesting Google Stitch, unparalleled for UI mockups. What the hell is Google Stitch? Design with AI. Google is really on a move, aren't they? On Polymarket, they were like top ranked for which is the company with the best AI model end of January 2026. And I was like, that was like mid November, and I really wasn't sure. I thought this would be Anthropic. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for that recommendation. Tim, thank you for sharing the episode with me. And then, what do we think of the BMAT method? I hear this a lot. Let's discuss it. Is it worth going this insane spec-driven route or not? That was your question, Tim. Correct? Do you want to give it
Yes,
some more
yes.
context?
No, I stumbled over it a few times the last week or 2 weeks, and it seems to become traction. As I'm originally from the Agile bubble, so I'm quite interested what's going on there. That someone's saying, okay, that's an kind of an AI-driven Agile software development process, more or less. I've not discovered it deeper, so I'm quite new to it, but it's about setting up a diverse agile software development team or product development team with agents for each role, so to say. So architect, scrum master, product owner, and so on and so forth. So you create your AI or agent-driven, I think 5 people software development team.
Has anyone tried this and can tell us, is this worth it? That would be very interesting to hear. Let us know in the chat. But I've seen this regularly. Also, this whole spec kit movement felt similar. Amazon felt like it's also going in a direction like that. I feel the developers under the vibe coders, they have this tendency to go full spec driven madness. Yeah, and to embrace this. I'm not sure about it yet.
The funny thing for me was when I check out this Brian Madison. BMAD is from Brian Madison.
Yeah.
This guy there. He has roughly about 900 followers on LinkedIn. So it's anyone, more or less.
He's probably huge on Twitter. Yeah, this is usually what happens like with these techies that are not absolutely unknown on LinkedIn because they all fucking hate LinkedIn. You have to check what they sometimes have like weird things on. What is the Twitter alternative? Blue Sky. Then they have like 30,000 people on Blue Sky, right? And you're like, what happens? Yeah, but he's big on YouTube. 27K. All right. So if anyone has experience,
So one
on that,
small
please share it.
point
yes.
from my side. One small point from my side. So Ben, you already know. So I'm trying out some vibe coding tools right now, but I come from a kritisches Unternehmen, which means this is a critical infrastructure, and it's very hard to have all the Bundesministerium für Informationssicherheit, and we have all these audits. And for me, it is really hard to get how stable, robust, and sustainability comes out from your code. How can you provide your code as safe? Do you have any experience? Do you have some penetration tests for your software? So this is very hard for me internally to argue.
Yeah, I believe you. That's going to be the thing. Yeah, it is. I mean, many people have made this argument. When we moved from assembly to C, people were like, really, like, how can we prove that our code is still reliable when we write more or less not zero and ones anymore, but something abstracted? And then there was a solution. It was a compiler, right? So what is that thing these days that acts like a compiler that can guarantee that this output is as good as we like? And pen tests, end-to-end tests, etc., or even like, I think there's going to be an upheaval of test-driven development again. People are just starting with a test, having the AI write against the test, then praying that the AI didn't game the tests. Yeah, so Jens, in your world, there will always be Q&A, like, and a lot of code review involved. But I would love to hear what Tristan has to say.
As an engineer, or running a team of engineers, we've got two approaches, and we haven't like totally nailed down what the perfect approach is. It's still a learning phase, I think. One is we write the tests and the code might be fired. And that's one way. But the other way is there's a general feeling between the engineers that the bit of code, current generation of engineers, maybe, we would like to write the code, not write the spec and just evaluate the spec. We do not want to sit there reading and running tests as our work. We want to do the writing. So the other approach to the AI is the AI, you ask the LLM, produce me 3 different variations, or you get it to do rapid prototyping, and then you build a product off the prototyping. Because what it's very good is giving you 3 different ideas, and then you haven't gone down 3 different avenues, and then you can mix and match and build from that. So then it doesn't matter that the code that it produced wasn't perfect because you are rebuilding it. But it depends whether you're building as an engineer or as not an engineer. So there's some different vibing in that. Those are the 2 approaches that at least we're working with, I think.
But there's going to be a huge cultural fight on that, a huge one. And the companies, like if you're in critical infrastructure, they're going to be moving the slowest. But the companies are really motivated in moving fast as possible, and where the edge is more in releasing better today than in 2 weeks. They will have a completely different approach to that. I don't want to keep you from your dinner, guys, but I would love if we would continue that talk. At the end of the article, there are the upcoming events. The Builder Lab, the next Builder Lab is on February 18th. This is going to be like vibe coding focused. And then there's the Growth Lab. Let me send the link to that in the chat. That is the next event. That is going to be like combining growth and building together. And as you know, if you're interested in learning either the building your first SaaS part or doing the marketing for your first SaaS, then either the Builder Forge or the Growth Forge is for you. Yeah, and if you're interested in that, just write me a WhatsApp or an email if you have any more questions, and I can send you a 250 euro discount code if you like. But until then, build, grow, repeat. Hope you have a good night.